I'm back. What's going on, man? We tapping in with another session. Today we're just gonna be talking about knowledge or information is the biggest helper and destroyer. I'm gonna say it again. Information is the biggest helper and destroyer because it creates that perspective that you have, that narrative that you have in your mind. You see what I'm saying? Because when you run across this information and you adapt this information or just these gems from anybody, it creates your reality when you believe it. Information can help you, but it can hinder you. When you're taking in this information, you want to take it in the most righteous light. You want to take the truth. You don't want to adapt somebody's whole perspective. Information is meant for the knowledge and for the gain of self, not only for self, but for self-benefit. You want to take these gems and hone in on them, but what you really want is wisdom. What you really want is wisdom. Information and knowledge is cool, but it doesn't help when you don't have that wisdom. That's what we're talking about today. We're gonna touch on a few key points and we're gonna get into it. Let's do it. So, bro, how I want to break this down for you guys is basically you can look at the biblical text. It spoke about how folks gain this knowledge of self or just information of self, and that information of self led them astray. Their knowledge of self led them astray, and what led them astray is they could see how people view them. Worrying about opinions, worrying about whether or not something is going to happen. You see what I'm saying? That information and that knowledge of self and just awareness of self is technically what messed up the world, if you want to be honest. When you looking at it or paying attention, people are self-conscious, but overly self-conscious. There's nothing wrong with being aware, but when you're embarrassed about something, about a situation, or just embarrassed of who you are in general, things tend to get ugly. Knowledge is not a bad thing, but the wrong knowledge gets into the wrong hands, and it is a bad thing. It's a horrible thing. You want to keep that in mind. Knowledge is nothing to be played with. Knowledge is nothing that should be toyed with in the wrong hands, because just pay attention. Folks lie and mislead the Most High words for profit. You see what I'm saying? If they can gain some money off of it, they're okay with telling a lie or fabricating a lie against the Most High. You see what I'm saying? And just the truth in general. If you can fabricate a lie and get paid off of it, they figure, why not do it? You see what I'm saying? Keeping these social norms and these things of that nature going in just reality, which is fucked up for the kids if you want to be real. It's fucked up for the kids, because when you pay attention, it's misleading the kids. It's telling kids all there is to life is getting money. You get money, everything will open up for you, and that's not true, because if you don't have that wisdom or that knowledge or just the knowing to do with that money or to do with that freedom, you will be a slave forever. You will be a slave forever. So you gotta understand, knowledge is meant to know and know what something means. It's not meant to hold on and don't get me wrong. It's not. It's meant to hold on to, but it's not meant to be used to control people. You see what I'm saying? The leader of something is most times not the smartest, but he's the wisest. He's the wisest. So what you want to seek to be is wise. Or like I would say again, be wise. Also, what you got to understand is knowledge is a tool. Knowledge is a tool, just like knowledge of self, like I was speaking on earlier. Knowledge of self is a tool for you to be like, I know myself, so I'm not gonna do that right there. I'm not gonna do that right there. But we all have human nature, and we all have these things that we have to fight with and get through. So you gotta understand that it's a balance. It's a balance of knowledge and wisdom, or information and wisdom. Information is the ability, or not even the ability. Information is just something that can be obtained. You see what I'm saying? It can be obtained, but when you just going out and just giving information on It can pertain to anything. You gotta understand that's your perspective. That's your perspective. You don't wanna go out there and give false information, because now you're misleading people. And what does it speak about in those biblical books? It speak about you'll be judged off of how you lead people, how you guide people, how you influence. How you influence is a big thing, bro, because when you get a hold to that information, you best thing you want to do is make sure you know that information before you share that information. Because when you sharing that information, you want it to be right. Because a lot of folks get fact checked, and they don't like when they get fact checked or folks ask questions. If you don't like when folks ask questions, that means you don't know what you're talking about. You see what I'm saying? I mean, you don't want to be questioned, because everybody has questions. We all have questions. When you tell somebody don't question me, for one, who are you? And I have to question you to see if what you say is true. I'll also test that theory. Whether that's testing that in my everyday life or just in my circle, you gotta understand and understand these things. These things are vital. So you gotta watch where you're getting your information from. Just another resource where fabricated information comes from is just the news. You see what I'm saying? They telling their narrative, their story, what they want to be told. But if you go read the newspaper, I don't even think they have that anymore, but if you go read anything just in form or in full, you'll realize that a lot of the shit that they saying is not true. You see what I'm saying? It's fabricated lies, and it's fabricated things that they telling you a partial truth. You see what I'm saying? They telling you a partial truth. You got to know how to see the signs and the signals. So it gets kind of ugly when it comes to those type of things, even when it comes to social media or just entertainment in general. You got to understand that's entertainment. So you don't want to gain all your information from entertainers, because they do exactly that, entertain. You got to understand that. You got to understand that this shit is a book. It's a way to walk in this life, and it's a way to stay on the path. But it's ways to fall off. There's many ways to fall off. You see what I'm saying? So you got to stay on the path of just understanding and gaining that wisdom. It ain't about having a big following. It's about having these gems and this gold that can walk with you forever. You see what I'm saying? Folks want profit and shit. You gotta understand, bro. The message is bigger than the profit that you're gonna earn off of. You're gonna have forever profit with the Most High understanding. This is not the final destination. This is not your final destination. So when you understand that, it's deeper than what motherfuckers make it seem, bro. It's beautiful out here. You gotta understand this. You gotta understand this. You know what I'm saying? You living in a fabricated world full of man lies and people lies. You see what I'm saying? And they ideology. They're not living off the Most High and the righteous and the divine. You see what I'm saying? Principalities. You're living off of man principalities, or what you would say man principalities, bro. You gotta understand that. So you wanna change that. You wanna change that. You gotta understand and understand frequencies. We in a time of knowing. We in a time of abundance. We in a time of growing. So while you in a time of growing and abundance, you wanna do just that. You wanna harness this energy that's around you and pay attention to what's not around you and who around you. It's gonna benefit you. That's the conversation I want to have with you guys today. Just information is the biggest helper, and information is the biggest destroyer when it comes just to the mental. Thank y'all for tapping in with me. Like, comment, subscribe, and we gonna get up out of here. Thank y'all again. Peace.